sports all plays. Hard sports all plays. 365, we making up plays. You talking the game, get you to the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. Offensitation, sports information, hitting the airways, taking the nation. Sport all plays, they working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. Hard sports all plays.
Get ready. This summer, the Arena League Sports is on ASAP Network. Tune in live on either the Tiki Live or Roku app, as well as your smart home TV.
And welcome to the latest edition of Fast Break. I am Mr. Bond Chronicles, and I got my main man, the Can Man, with me here this evening. How's it going, sir?
I'm doing rather well, my friend. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. I will say this is probably the first day that I haven't had a basketball game on to watch, so it's a little different. I kind of got into rhythm. No football. No basketball today. I know they got like the skills competition and stuff going on, but that's not really the same thing.
Not at all. Matter of fact, I'm watching the Rising Stars playing right now, and very boring. Very boring.
That's no good. Yeah, I was gonna probably turn that on myself.
Absolutely no defense, no effort. I mean,
that's not terribly surprising, I guess.
You know, I'm from the old school. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I'm with you. There's still a value, even in these celebrity games or these exhibitions, to have some kind of defense. Like it's not the worst thing in the world to try on the defensive side of the ball, because that's where you get the ankle breakers. That's where you get people getting dunked on. Like you still need some of that, some kind of competition, some kind of heart.
I mean, what credit do you get if there's no defense and you go and throw a dunk down when there's no effort? I have a problem with that, man.
A bunch of wide open threes. Yeah, I'm watching.
Yeah.
Team Peyton is down to Team Barry. There's some interesting jersey colors considering they're in Cleveland, but
figure that out, huh?
Yeah, that's a little different. But yeah, we've made it to All-Star Weekend. So there's definitely going to be a lot to get into. We got the slam dunk. We talked about the Rising Stars game going on right now, the 3-point contest, and ultimately we do have the slam dunk 3-point in the actual All-Star game. So is there any particular event you're looking forward to or anything you want to see?
That's a real good question. I think I'm probably more headed towards the 3-point shot. It used to be the dunk contest, but everything has been like watered down. I mean, we only have 4 participants in the dunk contest. That don't thrill me too much. They got a new concept with the skills competition. They're going like different teams now as opposed to individuals. They got Team Rooks with Scotty Barnes, Cade Cunningham, and Josh Giddey. Then they got Team Cavs representing Cleveland, obviously. They got Jared Allen, Darius Garland, Evan Mobley. And then they got Team Giannis. He got his whole family participating in that one. So, you know what I mean? So I'm not too keen on that, but I'll tell you what, skills challenge, I'm going to go with the Rooks. They're all former point guards. I'm going to roll with them.
Okay. I like that. I will say, I think I am going to go. It's hard to go against the Rooks based on what the skills challenge is. Giddey's been playing amazing.
Yes.
Cunningham, since he's got healthy, he's been playing really good. And Scotty Barnes is still pretty good himself.
Yes.
Giannis, 2 other brothers, they ain't Giannis, and none of them are great shooters.
No.
I don't have a lot of faith in that. The Cavs could be all right, but those 2 big men in the skills challenge, I can't even say that, because we've seen a couple years where the big men have beat some of the guards.
That True to say, that's a fact. And Darius Garland's a beast.
That could be something I would say that I think the Cavs will give them a run, but I'm with you. I'm gonna go with the Rooks as well for that. So that's tomorrow night at 8. That should be good. Should be entertaining, as can be. Saturday night's kind of, the big night. Then we got the 3-point contest. And I'm like you. I feel like at some point they should go ahead and change that. They need to reverse the order. I know for the longest time the dunk contest has been the main thing. But actually, even this year, like Steph, Clay, a lot of big names aren't in it this year. Dame Lillard's hurt. So I guess I can kind of see what this year's group. We got Desmond Bain, who had been struggling up until recently. He seemed to have maybe got it going. Luke Kennard, Zach LaVine, CJ McCollum, Patty Mills, Karl Anthony Towns, Fred VanVleet, and Trae Young. So they got a couple big names. Trae's probably the biggest name, but it ain't Steph, it ain't Clay, it ain't the Corvers or JJ Redick or Ray Allen or Reggie Miller, some of the preeminent good shooters. I like Patty Mills. He's been balling. He can get hot, but he has a big jump in his shot, and a lot of times that'll wear you out. So I think I'm gonna go. I think I'm gonna go Luke Kennard. He went off the other night.
Oh, he's nice.
I think he's my favorite, the lefty, to see what he can do. What you think?
I was thinking about it. I was going to go with Luke Kennard myself, but you know something? I'm sorry, man. That guy that's in the freezer, I think I have to roll with him. I'm going to have to go with Ice Trae, man. Like you said, Patty Mills leaves his feet a lot on his jump shot. Trae Young hardly even jumps. He's got tremendous range. I think that Trae Young is the one to beat. Okay. Let me ask you a question, boss. As you said, there's no Steph, there's no this one. What is your take on that? These all-star, $40 million players who don't want to participate. What's your take on that?
So I'm torn in some cases. Like, I am one of those people that feels like LeBron robbed us by never doing a dunk contest. He did one in McDonald's All-American,
right?
But as a pro, he never did one.
Nope.
So I think the stars deserve to do it. I'm not going to get on Steph and Clay, specifically those two, too much, because they've done it for quite a few years.
Exactly, I agree.
And they're a little older, and Clay's still kind of on a minutes restriction, so I don't think it's super important for him to do it.
No.
I would have liked, and I don't think I saw his name in here, and he's not a high volume or efficiency shooter, but I would have liked to have seen Luka in the 3-point, just as a star power. He likes to shoot them. He doesn't shoot them the best, but I think when you have these kind of events, you need a little bit more star power, and I think that's lacking, especially with Trae and Luka getting traded for each other. I think that could have been a bit of a kind of battle, even though I think Trae might be a better shooter. I just think that would have been nice to see him. Chris Middleton's not in it. He's, kind of a known shooter. So I think it'd be cool. I'm interested to see how Karl Anthony Towns does.
I was just going to say that. You might be reading my mind. I had never seen him take a 3-pointer before.
He shoots them, but not at a great rate. So I don't know. But to your point, there's some guys here, but I wish we could have got a couple more stars in it. So I think for Steph and Clay specifically, and Dame Lillard, he's hurt. I think he normally does it too.
Right.
He's out probably for the year. But like Anthony Simons, I like him. They could have got maybe a young guy in there, but it's a decent group, and maybe they'll surprise us a little bit, but it is lacking the star power a little bit, in my opinion.
I agree.
And there's no one from Cleveland in it either. So I would have thought you would have tried to find even if it's a Cleveland role player, somebody, I know Cleveland got a couple shooters. I would have liked to seen a Cleveland person in every competition since it's in Cleveland. But we talked about kind of the lack of star power with the 3-point contest, and the dunk contest is nobody. We got, and that's no disrespect, but Jalen Green, he's a rookie, Cole Anthony, Obi Toppin, and Juan Toscano Anderson. I know we're not going to get the Zach LaVine and Aaron Gordon dunk off anymore. I think that's long gone. But talk about lacking star power.
I mean, Obi, he participated last year, didn't he?
He may have. I don't remember. Did he win it?
No.
Do we know who won last year? I can try and look it up. But I don't think it was any of these guys, so nobody's defending the crown.
I don't think he did.
Which is interesting if nobody. Let me see.
No, he didn't.
Anthony Simons won it last year.
Yep.
Against Obi Toppin in the final round.
Correct.
So Obi's back. I'm surprised Simons didn't try to defend the title. That would have been nice. I didn't know Cole Anthony was a dunker like that.
I had no idea.
So I'm curious to see how he performs. Jalen Green can jump. Now I know he can jump. So I think that's probably my favorite. Big guys, and Toscano Anderson, I watch him play with Golden State a lot. I never thought he was a great dunker. So I will be curious to see how he performs. Him and Anthony, I will pleasantly surprise me if they pull off some good stuff. But I think Jalen Green's my favorite.
I'm gonna have to roll with you. I think Green, he's gonna do some crazy stuff. That's the only thing that worries me. He's gonna do some off the hook stuff that he may not be able to make it. You know what I mean? But he got supreme hops. He's a unbelievable leaper, man. I think he's going to end up pulling it out. That's what I think. Sure.
I was also doing some reading, and this is kind of cool for those people with a family. They say that Cartoon Network is going to air a special superpowered Teen Titans Go edition of the Slam Dunk on Sunday at 5:00. So that might be something for the kids. You can have them tune into before the game. But yeah, let's go there. So we're going to get into the game. We got a couple people out, but there have been some good replacements on Sunday. There's a G League Next Gym game, which I think is cool, highlighting some of the G League players. But I'm going to ask one question first, and then we can kind of get more into the All-Star game. Okay. So with the All-Star game, obviously LeBron was the top vote getter. We've talked about it on this show and on this network a bunch of how underwhelming the Lakers have been performing. The Lakers just lost Anthony Davis for 4 weeks, and they've been, by all accounts, Russell Westbrook has been a disaster. So as the 9th seed in the West, you need really as many games as you can get because Portland looks like they're starting to get it together.
Yeah, definitely.
So if you're LeBron James, how much do you play in the All-Star game that's in Cleveland when you know how valuable you are to your team coming out of the All-Star break?
You know, that's a great question. And they were talking about that this morning on the different various shows. And obviously, LeBron, like what they say is normally he goes to Mexico prior to the All-Star game and then goes back there to Mexico. I guess he has a home out there. And this year, he came to Cleveland, I think it was on Wednesday, because his mother did a lecture on 7th grade class. And then he has another clothing line, and all the stuff's going to his Promise Academies in order to help pay for his kids that graduate be able to go to college for free. So I think that was his major priorities for this weekend. But him, winning a championship in Cleveland, the place is going to be rocking to see him. I think he's going to play. I don't think he's going to play that much. If you recall, prior to his last game, he just said, "Look, my knee's killing me, man. I need rest." I don't know how much he's going to play. I think he's going to definitely play a little bit, give the fans a little something. But I don't foresee him playing a lot. What do you think?
So this is my thing with LeBron. Obviously, supremely talented. He's once in a generation type player. But I know a lot of people think Skip Bayless just talks trash about LeBron all the time. But I can tell you, on many occasions, LeBron's been in games late when the game was decided, whether they were winning or losing. And so I think because it's in Cleveland, it's going to be his last All-Star game in Cleveland.
Yep.
And he went back and made it right, quote unquote, by winning a title there.
Yep.
But the decision still happened. So I think I say he plays 25 minutes. I think he'll play a good amount. I think he'll play probably about 25 minutes. And I think that's also dependent on how he does early. I think he might come out a little aggressive early, try and get some points, maybe a dunk or two. If he can get that early, maybe get 10, 15 early points, I think he'll shut it down. But if he, misses a couple deep threes, and he's not leaving the game in single-digit points. So I think he's going to look to get around the 15, 20-point mark at minimum. And I think that might take him maybe about 20 minutes just because of the way the game is played.
I can understand that. I just hope, he doesn't injure himself because they need all the help they can get. You know what I mean? So he got to be very careful.
No, 100%. And I think there has been very direct conversations with him on that, but he's LeBron, so it's not a whole lot you can do. But I think he's smart enough, and it is the All-Star game, so I don't envision it'll be super taxing on his body or anything like that. So I think it'll be fine personally, but it'll be interesting to see. I think he'll give a bit of a show for the home crowd, but I don't think it's going to be 30 plus 35 minutes. I don't think he's going for any kind of triple doubles or anything like that. But I think because it's his last time home, he's going to try and put on a bit of a show.
I think he's going to definitely be amped up, and the crowd's going to be amped up. So, I mean, it's a good thing. He's done so much for the community, and I think that the crowd's going to let him know how much he's meant to them. That's what I think.
Well, with that being said, and kind of along the same lines, I kind of touched on it. Anthony Davis hurt again. I'm not one of those people that I don't know if people are like snake bitten. I don't know if people are just fragile. Like if you just like it was a freak accident.
Yeah.
But it seems like all the accidents happen to some of the same people. And he's one of them that constantly seems to end up in these situations. And when he gets hurt, he's not just like I've seen a bunch of players roll the ankle, and it was a bad roll. Don't I'm not belittling it, but a month. And they're just going to evaluate him in a month. That's not even saying he comes back in a month. So with that being said, if you're the Lakers and you see kind of where this season is going, and the potential, if the Spurs ever put it together, if they miss the playoffs, so they get to the play-in but don't get out of the play-in tournament, would you blow it up and would you trade Anthony Davis just because of his injury history?
Boy, Ray, you got some good questions tonight, my brother. I'm gonna tell you something. They had a posting on all AD's injuries he's had, and I kid you not, it's like over 25.
Wow.
I'm talking about all his injuries that have occurred with this guy. He is a walking injury. Now, obviously he's looking to make max money. And if I were management, I would definitely throw it out there. Let's see what we can get from him. Let's see what we can get from him, because believe me, all the other teams know how injury prone he is too. And are they going to want to take a chance and spend all that money? Because when he's healthy, he's top 5, top 10.
Yeah.
When he's healthy, if he's healthy. And right now, I definitely think I would definitely put it out there. I would put it out there, see what I can get. You probably can get a lot.
I just looked it up. He's about to turn 29 March 11th, but he's an old 29 just with all the injuries. He's had upper body, shoulder injuries. He's had lower leg, lower body injuries. Like, I know you said there was about 20 different things, and that's just if I'm the Lakers, he was supposed to be the bridge to the future. He was supposed to be the guy that when LeBron's gone, he steps in. And I don't think that you view him as that anymore by any stretch. Like he's
after they won in the bubble, supposedly LeBron was going to give him, it's your show now. You handle it. But what happened too is he came in that following year out of shape, overweight, and they're saying that he don't, which is kind of strange to me, because you got the king of workout, LeBron James, you got Dwight Howard, who's Mr. Weight Room, and you got someone like him who doesn't seem to have the fortitude or the interest to work out with them guys. And I think he comes into camp not as in shape as he could be. I think that might be a cause of a lot of it could be because of he's not very strong. He's very fragile. And I think if he went in the weight room with Dwight and worked out with LeBron, I think he would definitely he probably still would have injuries, but not as many. And some of them are severe and something he couldn't control. But some of them, I just don't get it. I don't understand it. I don't know.
Yeah. And like I said, for me, I get people get hurt. Like getting hurt's fine. But his recovery seemed to take forever. And
I just look, yep.
And
this last one, they said he'll be evaluated in 4 weeks. That doesn't mean he's going to come back in 4 weeks.
Right.
That just means he's going to get evaluated. It's going to take another 2-3 weeks for him to get back in shape. Now, can LeBron and my cousin Westbrook, if they can come together and pull it together to at least keep it afloat, I don't know. I mean, Westbrook is playing a little bit better. He cut down on his turnovers. He's not taking that 3-point shot, which is beneficial to them. I mean, he's playing a little bit better, but all the other guys need to step up. They need to step up.
Yeah, I agree. Austin Reeves looked great the other night.
Yes, I like him.
Hit a huge shot. So like you said, the Lakers got some work to do, and I think the other piece you started to get into, depending on how this goes, is if they happen to fall out of that last spot, do you bring AD back? Do you risk him getting hurt again? So I definitely think they're gonna have some decisions to make as they get towards the end of the year, just because you want him, if you want to trade him in the offseason, you don't want him hurt. So yeah, it'll be very interesting to see what they do with him.
Now, Ray, let me ask you a question, Ray. Okay. Yeah. Now, there's been a lot of talk that on the undercurrent on the DL, LeBron is very upset that management didn't make any moves prior to the trade deadline.
Mm-hmm.
And what's your take on? Oh, and what happened was management basically told him, look, we took your advice. We went and got Westbrook. We went and did what you wanted us to do. You kind of made your bed. Now you sleeping. That was indirectly what was said. Indirectly. What's your take on that?
So I have a couple takes on that, and I'll try and get through them so I don't forget. The first is I don't understand who John Wall pissed off. Everything that I keep hearing was the Rockets offered John Wall for Russell Westbrook and their 2027 first round pick.
Yes, 2027.
2027. LeBron James's youngest son might be in the league by the time that draft pick would come up. And I've seen people on TV talk like John Wall wasn't a perennial all-star. They talk like John Wall wasn't leading his team into the playoffs. And if it wasn't for LeBron, who knows how far they could have went. So there seems to be this stigma around John Wall is not an upgrade or John Wall is just such a downgrade from Russell Westbrook. And that part I do not understand. So if that deal was on the table, I get that they may have wanted to tell LeBron, hey, it's your bed, you got to line it, or we need to. I heard reports that they were saying they need to see how this runs its course and try to put Russ in a better position to be successful. I hear all that. But where I'm standing, I think John Wall would be an upgrade, and I think he'd be a great fit for their offense. He can play with pace. Even if you brought him off the bench, he's not your $40 million. So I feel like there's a lot more versatility with him that I'm really confused by. As far as them saying no to LeBron, we talked about them trading AD, and obviously it's been a bunch of speculation around them moving. And sorry to interrupt. I was trying to see who it was. Somebody, Tate, just won the Rising Stars game with a pretty nice layup. LaMelo Ball missed a free throw that would have put him up 1. So it was a 2-point game, and he attacked the basket, made a nice scoop left-handed layup for the win. So that's pretty nice. But in relation to the Lakers and LeBron, I think they might see the writing on the wall because he's made it clear he wants to try and play with his son. And He said that doesn't have to be in LA. So I think the way we look at it, I think he has one more year on his deal.
Yes.
I could very well see not next year, the year after that, LA not having any of the three in a Lakers jersey. And that I would imagine is pretty troubling if I'm Jeannie Buss, because all the other bigger superstars are locked into long-term deals. The Giannis, I don't think Jokic would necessarily do it. You might could try and get Spider Mitchell out of Utah, but I don't think he's a difference maker in the sense that I don't think he's the number one. I think he's a phenomenal compliment, but I don't think he can take your team to the finals. So you could be looking at that lull between Kobe and LeBron again if you don't play this right. So it's interesting that they kind of told him, you got to live with your decision, because LeBron is a powerful guy. He moves the needle, to say the least, and he gets coaches fired and 8 players traded. So if they told him no, that it's a risky move. I'll say that. What do you think?
And Ray, also the fact is, my cousin Westbrook, he's going to be making $47 million next year. So that's going to hinder the salary cap and what they can and cannot do as well. So they got 3 max players, and they paid all that money, 3 max players. One's always injured. One's not there. He's there, but he's not there. I think he passes more to the other team than to his own teammates. But I mean, he leads the league in turnovers. um, he doesn't have the explosiveness he used to have. His shot selection has a lot to be desired. He plays hard, and he has some good moments. I mean, if you just look at his numbers, they're not that bad. If you just look at his numbers,
Right.
but then if you take into consideration his turnovers, his field goal percentage, his 3-point field goal percentage, his foul shooting percentage, my man, I don't know. You know, but I think I told you guys last week or the week before, he's always known as being a better second half player than he is during the first half. So maybe that might come to fruition where, you know, he starts playing a little bit like the old Westbrook, you know, because I know right now they're all going to come together. They're going to have a yaha moment and get together and say, look, our boy's out for maybe a month. You know, what we going to do? We got to do this. And maybe they'll come together or maybe they won't.
But I
and
think
if they don't,
go ahead.
I said, if they don't, all hell's going to break loose. You know what I mean? So they invest a lot in those 3 plays. And look who they got rid of. Look who they've gotten rid of. And look who they could have got. We already talked about that. They could have got DeMar DeRozan. Case closed. But I mean, you know, but that's like Monday morning quarterback, I guess. We can look at that now. But I mean, Mr. Mid-range, he's been that way throughout his career. He's been very statistically consistent, you know. I mean, look what he does. He doesn't even take a 3-point shot. He's Mr. Mid-range, and he's shooting at high percentage. I mean, he just broke my guy's record, you know what I mean? So I'm not happy about that, but he broke my guy Will Chamberlain's record. But other than that, but I'm saying that's who they could have had, and they went with LeBron. And my question to you here is again, Jeannie Buss, Kurt Rambis, his girlfriend, the other Rambis, and the other ones, don't they get paid to make decisions? Isn't it their job to do that? Or they just gonna say, okay, LeBron, what do you want? We're just gonna give you whatever we want. And this time, I think what they said, the reason why they said no was because they gave him everything. They said, look, what do you want? We done gave you what you want. Look how it's turned out. Now you want us to go make moves now? That's what I think.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. But what I was going to say to your point is you said they got to come together. They've played without Anthony Davis a lot this year. He was out for a while, and they weren't very good. So maybe this time will be different. I don't know what happened to Kendrick Nunn. Like, I guess he's just not coming back. I don't know.
He hasn't played at all.
He hasn't played at all, and we haven't heard much about him. So I don't know that he's progressing. Melo's been out for a while now too. So maybe this All-Star break will give a lot of because they are an older team, it'll give a lot of them a chance to kind of heal up for this final run. But I don't know if they're going to have the bodies. They talked about Dennis Schroeder. Dennis Schroeder trying to come over, but I would have thought Tristan Thompson, he has his baby mama out there in LA. He's been following LeBron all his career.
Yeah.
But from what I understand, he's going to Chicago, they obviously have a chance to win. So
yes,
the fact that he basically said, I don't want to come there, I don't even know if they're going to get a lot of help on the buyout market because who wants to necessarily go play in that mess? So I just don't know.
Yeah, another question I have for you, Ray, is check this out. When you acquire a player, I'm talking about Kendrick Nunn from Miami Heat, who was outstanding, great perimeter shooter. He had a couple of real good years. Don't you want to know if he's healthy before you pick him up?
Yeah, I don't know how that works because like we've seen a couple people that were injured get traded.
Yes, the guy from Utah.
I think Ricky Rubio got traded too, didn't he?
Yes, Yeah,
And
that's
he
another
was.
one.
I think he has a bad injury. So I don't know how that works. Usually, expect in free agency for sure, you give people a physical. I remember that's how they found Karis LeVert's cancer.
Thank God for that. Thank God for
Yeah.
that.
So I know they give them physicals. I don't know. I don't know if they misdiagnosed it, if they didn't know it was the extent of it, if he's re-aggravated. I don't even know what his injury is, to be perfectly honest.
They haven't really spoken upon it. Usually when that happens, boss, is when they take that trade to get it off their salary cap. You know what I mean? That's when they usually do it. But they wanted him. So if I'm busting that whole crew, why would I take Kendrick Nunn if he's not healthy? I don't get that. I don't know. That's one on me, man. I don't know.
Yeah. I'm not sure, but they definitely need all the help that they can get at this point. And I just don't know if they're going to find it.
And they're talking about buyout. There's nobody to buy out.
Yeah, that's what I said. The buyout mark, and even for the people that typically get bought out that are like older veterans, I don't think LA is the place I want to go. Like Dennis Schroeder, I've been watching with Houston. He's running the offense.
Yeah.
I can go from a starting point guard, in Houston where I'm gonna get, X amount of minutes. Why would I, if they buy me out, I guess they buy me out, but why would I want to go to LA to come off the bench? I'm trying to my talent so I can get some of that money I lost back.
I was just going to say, he already turned down that $80 million that the Lakers were offering. Maybe Houston, after they get rid of John Wall's money, maybe he'll get some of his money that he felt he was due.
Yeah.
So, now, the Lakers, they could buy out Dragic.
Yeah, I've heard that, but I haven't seen him all year.
He don't fit.
So, and to your point, he's somebody that's best with the ball in his hand, which is the issue that LA already has. So, I don't know. I don't know. But we do have one more thing to get into. Actually, no, I'm going to go in a different direction because we brought his name up earlier, and I have a question for you because you've been around for a while. You know basketball. So, DeMar DeRozan,
yes,
has been really, really good this year. In a fit that a lot of people didn't know if he would be able to fit in. But he played with Coach Popovich, and he didn't look like this. And Kawhi Leonard played with Coach Popovich, and he wasn't this guy, or the guy that he had been before he got all the injuries. So my question is, has Popovich mismanaged some of these people, or what happened to DeMar DeRozan that he was able to turn into this guy? Because he wasn't this guy in Toronto either.
Okay. If you look back on Coach's career, can you name, maybe beside Tim Duncan and maybe 1 year or two of Robinson, how many players does he have on his team that were 25 points per game scorers? Check it out. Very few. Because his system doesn't dictate for players to go off and score quite a bit of points. The reason why DeMar is going off with Chicago is Billy Donovan said, look, do your thing. You got complete freedom. Do what you want to do. He couldn't do that with Pop. Pop don't play that. Now, if you watch it, they got one this year, Murray. He might get a little bit more freedom after this year. But if you notice, they have a history of having more team concept. He preferred to have 8 guys averaging double figures and have 1 or 2 averaging 25, 28. The thing with DeMar, though, the question would be, is how is he going to fit in with Zach? Because that was Zach's team. And that, I think that was the biggest issue, how they were going to get along. And as you can see, they're getting along just fine. You know what I mean? So, I think players need to play. to play their game. And if y'all, just like Kawhi, when he was there, he was a role player, defensive player, and that was his role. And he did it very well. And then he went to Toronto, got more freedom. You know, it's one thing when you can play under a system, but it's so controlled. Where if you go to another system where it's more freedom, you can more or less play your type of game to better your own skills or attract your own talent to make yourself a better ball player. It makes the game a lot easier. I think that the game has slowed down for him because if you ever watch him, I'm going to tell you right now, I've been around a while. I don't think I've seen anybody with as good footwork as him. He's slow motion, he just takes his time, gets that footwork, he's squared away, he got that beautiful jump shot, he got a nice vertical. I mean, he just takes his time. When the double team comes, he knows how to kick it. I mean, the man's he's on a different level right now. He's just playing calm, cool, collected. This game is like, it's not exciting, but it's very effective.
Right, and I think that's the key. You said effective. He's efficient because I think the run he's been on that was Wilt was that he scored 35, but he's shooting 50%. So it's not like he's just volume scoring per se. Like it's an efficient 35, 40 he's getting, and he doesn't really shoot threes. So it's mid range. But I think the one difference, or I guess bailout I would give to Pop is DeMar's been in the system where he has Ayo and Ball were good point guards. And then second, he has Levine. So he's not seeing as many double teams and the floor is spaced so he can get where he wants. Mm-hmm. And Vucevic also can step outside.
Yes.
So the paint area is pretty open, which I think obviously is a benefit, but I definitely have been impressed by him this year. I don't have him as my MVP, but I think he's definitely proven to be better than what I think a lot of people thought he was going to be.
I didn't expect him to have the run he's having right now, but I knew his talent. Because, like I said, he's been consistent. If you look at his years, he's always shot the same percentage. He's just going at a higher rate right now, but still very effective. And he doesn't take bad shots. He doesn't take bad shots at all. I mean, but like you said, he's playing with two great guards. You got Zach. You got a center that can go out and hit the mid-range jumper. He can go out to the perimeter. Like you said, opens up things in the middle, allows him to do his little work, his little footwork, his little mid-range game. And if you notice, when you take mid-range shots, the ball doesn't come, it comes back right around the rim area. When you take three-point shots, where the ball usually goes? Foul line, key extended. When you take mid-range shots, your shots are going to come, most of the time, they're going to come foul line within.
It's a good point.
Thank you, man.
It's a good point. So yeah, no, I definitely think I'm excited for the weekend, and I will be curious to see, like I said, LeBron and some of the stars. It does stink. We have quite a few stars out due to injury, but I think the replacements will relish the opportunity. Quite a few first-time players. I'm optimistic that the dunk contest and three-point contest will be entertaining, but we'll sit back and watch. Most of the NBA is off most of next week, so we can kind of revisit next week our takeaways. But did you have anything else for the people, Cam, man, before we get out of here?
All right. Well, I want to put something, couple things real quick. I know you got to go, but
no. I'm not ready. That was just really all we had. But go ahead.
They had since we're talking about the All-Star game, And the Eastern team was captained by LeBron James, and the Western team was captained by Kevin Durant. And do you know who was the last pick of the East All-Star game? You have any idea?
James Harden?
Bingo.
Yeah.
I mean, if that don't tell you something right there. I just want to bring that part up. And I wanted to bring up something that I think is important because we're talking about, the big trade and how much it affects everything. But, I was very impressed with Commissioner Silver and the fact that he was saying, he's the man of the NBA. And he's like, you won't let Kyrie play in New York, but you let outside players come and play in New York that have not been vaccinated. Can you explain that to me?
So no, I'm really glad that you brought that up because to your point, I was surprised, I was shocked that he came out and said that.
Yes,
it makes sense. Like the rule's been dumb, but I like I said, I was surprised that he came out and said that. I agree with him. It doesn't make a lot of sense. That especially like when he couldn't play Madison Square Garden, like someone from the Wizards or the Sixers can come and play Madison Square Garden, but Kyrie can't and not be vaccinated. Like that's just silly.
I have I gotta give Kyrie credit only for the fact that he's been true to his word, whether we agree with his word or not. He stuck by his guns no matter what. He ain't been wishy-washy. He's been sticking by his guns. And I feel that, do I think he hurt his team? Obviously. Do I think that had an impact on James Harden being upset? Absolutely. I mean, James Harden went there and KD went there to play with Kyrie. And then with all this stuff going on with Kyrie not being able to play only on the road games, and the fact that, he's hurting his team without question. And now if they lift this vaccination ban or whatever you call it, then I think the Nets going to still be very tough team to contend with. And I think Simmons is going to be a value asset to the team because he doesn't have to worry too much. They put himself around shooters, so he doesn't have to shoot that much. When Kyrie comes in, he's going to more or less play the 3 or the 4. I don't think he'll be handling the ball that much when Kyrie's there. I think when Joe Harris comes in, they got another outside shooter. They got Patty Mills. I mean, the Nets are going to be tough. My opinion, and some people got upset with me, I think in the short term, I think Philly got it. In the long term, I'm going with the Nets because despite them getting Drummond, despite them getting Simmons, they also get 2 first-round picks.
Yeah.
So I think in the long term, I think the Nets got him because we don't know how long Harden's going to play. We don't know what's going on with him because he can opt in at the end of the year. So my take is the Nets will, in the long term, because they have them picks, and Simmons is really young compared, you know what I mean? So they got him for a long time. So I think the Nets are going to be, if that vaccine mandate is lifted, I think the Nets are going to be a tough team to deal with. I don't think too much this year, but maybe next year.
Yeah. So that's the thing. I think if they can lift the rule and Simmons and Kyrie can start playing together, I don't have a lot of concern about Kevin Durant. Like I think Durant will be able to fit in as needed pretty seamlessly. He's proven he can fit in most any environment without much of a problem. But they got to get Simmons on the court. So it'll be interesting to see if they can get him playing, and how quickly they can get him up to speed and in shape. You talk about in shape. And a lot of times when you're getting in shape, if you haven't been in shape, that's when you pull muscles, calves, hamstrings, quads. So hopefully they can stay healthy, because Brooklyn has not been able to stay healthy for the last 2 years, basically. So I hope that they will be able to stay healthy. But if they can get everybody back, that's going to be a tough out.
And Ray, prior to Durant getting hurt and Kyrie flipping out and Harden doing his thing, what were they lacking?
But he needed a big man.
There you go. And guess who they got?
Andre Drummond.
You know what I'm saying? So
And
I mean,
and even in that, they found, and I can't, his name escapes me. They got a young guy. Cam Thomas. I don't know if you've watched him much.
Yeah.
But they've kind of discovered him in all of this. And then they still got Joe Harris that's going to come back.
Mm-hmm.
So they could potentially have a lineup with Kyrie, Harris, Curry, KD, Thomas, or, Mills. Like, they can put some shooters out there. They can play some defense. They can be long with Drummond, Thomas, and KD. Like, they can do a lot of different things. So they're going to be a very, very tough out if they get the opportunity to get there and they can get healthy.
And look how big they're going to get. You put Simmons in there, he can guard 1 through 5.
I didn't even mention Simmons. Like, that becomes a really long defense. If you, God forbid, you could put Thomas out there with Drummond, Simmons, and Kevin Durant. Like, those 4 are massive and long. And then you have Kyrie facilitating. Like, they will have a lot of options. They would be very, very scary.
And for a team that was in disarray about a week and a half ago, it's looking pretty good in Brooklyn right now.
Well, it's looking real good. I would like to be there. I'll tell you that.
They're better than that team across town. We can talk about that too.
So I saw Stephen A. Smith went off on the Knicks the other day. So the Knicks are the Knicks until I think they're another one of those teams. And I don't typically buy in or subscribe to this, but some teams just need to fire the owner. And I think until you get rid of an owner, the team isn't able to move forward for whatever reason. We're kind of going through that here in Washington, where people have been calling for us to have a new owner for a while. And initially I pushed against it, but sometimes stuff's just be attached. And James Dolan and what he's done to the Knick legends and to Spike Lee at one point, like, I just think maybe a fresh start.
Oh, we did with Oakley? Remember that?
Huh?
We did with Oakley?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But I didn't even get specific, but when I was saying former legends, like, that was insane. And I don't know that they say Donovan Mitchell might want to go there, but I don't know that he's a game changer for them. They got some decent young talent, but I don't know if they have a all-around difference maker. RJ Barrett can score the ball. Fournier, Randall, Kemba, what's the ball guy? Taj Gibson. They're all pretty old veterans at this point.
And the thing too, Ray, is that they've only got one max player, and Tibbs, for some reason, man, I don't know. He did it with Kemba, sat him down 10 games. Now he's doing it with Barrett. I don't know.
And then they traded for Cam Reddish.
Yes.
And then wouldn't even play him.
Tibbs, man, I don't know. Tibbs, I mean, he got Coach of the Year not too long ago. I don't know. It's tough in New York, though, man. It's tough playing in New York, man. But like I said, I think they could have made some better moves. They could have got some better free agents than what they got. Because why do you think the Celtics were so quick of getting rid of Kemba and Fournier? They must have known something.
Yeah.
Kemba's got his knees. I mean.
And Derrick Rose has been out for a while now, too.
Yeah, he's finally coming back, I think, after the All-Star game.
So I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what they do. Indiana, I thought that they were going to be kind of one of those teams that needed to start over, but the East is just deep. As a Wizards guy, we got some good talent. But
well, the thing is, what do you think about that?
I don't understand that. Our management has just. I don't know. We brought in Russ, which I thought was a mistake. We got off the Russ mistake, and we were positioning ourselves to kind of make some moves, and then KP happened. Like, I understand that Dinwiddie was a locker room issue, but we didn't need a big guy that can shoot outside. Thomas Bryant isn't really an inside guy. Kuzma isn't an inside guy. We traded Trez Harrell.
Yep.
So, like, I don't know the fit. And they say he's going to start playing once we get back from the All-Star break, but we traded Bertans.
Yep.
And so it's like we replaced the stuff we traded with a similar player, but one of them on a bad deal, and we got out of the Bertans contract. So I don't know what we're doing. I like some of the young pieces, but
what's your boy Bradley Beal going to do?
Bradley Beal to me is like Damian Lillard, and
loyal.
They're loyal, and I get it. And I was actually having this conversation with someone earlier. Kevin Durant still doesn't get the credit that I think he deserves. No one considers him the 2-time Finals MVP. No one gives him a bunch of credit for his rings. And I don't think Damian Lillard wants that. I don't think he wants what's the word? It's not negative press, but I think internally he's the kind of person I think Damian Lillard, to me, would rather not win a ring in Portland than go to, I don't know, go to Phoenix, go replace Chris Paul in Phoenix or something and win a ring. Like, if he chased the ring and joined the best team, his demeanor doesn't come off as somebody that would be satisfied with that. What do you think?
I agree. That's why I think KD's gotten a lot of heat, because Oklahoma City got beat by Golden State, and people are saying, well, KD said, well, I can't beat him, so I might as well join him.
Yeah.
And I think that's what you're trying to say. We got Damian. Excuse me. Damian's from a different breed. He's loyal, and he wants to make it work. But then they got rid of McCollum, so that could be writing on the wall.
And that was to your point, that confused me, because I think Simons and Lillard are similar players.
Yes.
So I don't know how those two play together. Like, they're small, they're undersized, even at the point guard position. They both need the ball in his hands, and Simons looks great with the ball in his hands.
Yes, outstanding.
So if he's the future, every sign that I've seen, and maybe, Dame's just doing the right thing in the media, but behind closed doors, if I'm Dame, I'm got to be telling them, like, guys, I don't fit here. And you traded Norman Powell and all those guys. Like, get me out of here. I can't win here. The team isn't built around my strengths. My replacement appears to be on the roster. Like,
and you don't. I mean, it's like a whole new team. He's been there for so long, and then you're gonna put a whole bunch of new players around him. I'm sure he ain't too happy about it, but it's gonna be interesting to see where he could end up. You got to find out what team has cap room of who's going to be willing and what they're going to be willing to give up. Because again, when you get guys like that make that $45 million a year, I mean, he's worth it. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying, what team's going to give up damn near everything in order to get him? I was trying to think what teams he would be a good fit in right now. See, the NBA right now, as you know, is become a very young league. You got a lot of 18, 19, 20, 21-year-old kids who are making minimum contracts and still playing well. So, do you want to give up your future for Dame? I guess most people would say, yeah, he's worth it. I guess that's going to be the question. You know, so yeah, he's in a tough position right now. I think he's got to do some soul searching and realize, hey, look, we don't know how many years he got left. At that level, maybe 3, maybe 4, maybe. He's got to make the best move that he feels that's going to improve his chances to at least get a ring. I mean, that's why people play to get it. Well, most people play to get a ring. A lot of people play just for the paycheck. But I mean, it'd be nice to see him get a ring. It would really be nice to see him get a ring. He's been good for the NBA. He's a great role model. He does a lot of things for the community. I think it'd be great for him to get a ring. That's what I feel.
Now I was trying to think while you was talking about where he could even go.
Yeah, I was thinking
and I don't know where he goes.
I know who can pay him.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. He ain't going though.
I mean, for what it's worth, he can come to DC. I don't think.
I know y'all can get him. Y'all can get him.
But Miami
got the most.
Huh?
You know who got the most salary? Who has the most money right now, or who will have the most money?
Who's that?
Sacramento. He ain't going there.
Yeah, he's not.
He's not going there. I don't care how much Shaq wants him. He ain't going there.
Yeah, I don't. Maybe Boston.
Ooh.
Maybe Boston. I don't know that he wants to play in Boston, but I could see Boston being a fit. I don't.
Who would they get rid of?
You would have to give up Brown or Tatum, one of them. Portland will want one of them back.
Well, they just signed Tatum. Matter of fact, they both got max contracts. Matter of fact, I was reading something before we got on the air how upset Tatum is. Because,
yeah, I saw it on the podcast.
Yeah, you saw that? I mean, he's already upset already. So he's already felt he lost 30 million, 33 million to be exact. So I don't know. And then Brown's upset because he didn't make the All-Star team. So I don't know. But the Boston's looking pretty good. I'm from New Bedford, Mass, which is right outside of Boston. So I'm not a Celtics fan at all, by the way. So I get a lot of heat. But
I mean, I could see him in Denver if they want to trade Jamal Murray.
Hey, there you go. Mm-hmm. And they can get rid of what's the name that has back problems again?
Porter Jr. I think, I would probably because Murray doesn't really fit. The issue is Portland doesn't want a point guard back. Wouldn't imagine you got a point guard.
Yeah, see, yeah.
I don't know where he goes, to be honest. He can't go to Dallas.
No.
Maybe he could go to Utah, and if they get off of Conley, but that's not a great fit.
And they're gonna make the money work.
I think Conley's on the max deal, but I don't know.
He was. He lost his max deal. He ran out of it. Yeah, he's not making max money no more. Yeah, he already got 2 max contracts. He don't need no more.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's a good question.
And that's the thing. The point guard position is so deep. I'm trying to think. I don't know if Lonzo got traded again, if he wanted to try and fit him in Chicago, but that'd be tough for the money. I don't know if you can make the money work, and I don't think you're trading Levine, DeRozan, or Vucevic. Cleveland, I don't think you're coming off Garland. So yeah, I think he outside of Washington. I mean, he can go to the Knicks. He's not going to win anything.
Man,
But
that would revive New York.
no, that'd be
They
great.
get the money.
Or I mean, but we talked about it. If New York can figure out how to get off some of the deals and bring Mitchell and Lillard to the Garden,
Oh man, forget it. It's
like I don't think that's a great winning combination, but that'll definitely be exciting.
Stephen A would be happy.
Yeah. It would make games at the Brooklyn, New York games crazy. Tons of star power. But yeah, I think Dame might be in for an interesting situation. And I think the Knicks have young talent. You would have to package Randall. And Randall, I think he could fit in Portland. I think Portland wouldn't mind pairing Randall with Simons and some of the other young guys. They got a bunch of Randall-like players.
Right.
But he would be the best of that group. So you could package, maybe some young talent there, Kevin Knox or Cam Reddish with Randall. You might can make that work.
Yeah, they can make it work.
So
Interesting.
But that's all I got. Unless you got some more.
No, I'm good, my brother, man. Thank you for coming on, man.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It's been a pleasure as always talking to you, wrapping it up, chatting it up. Enjoy yourself. Have a great weekend. Hopefully you got some good weather where you're at. And we'll talk next week and see how this All-Star weekend turns out.
You got it, my brother.
It's turned out pretty good. I've been watching some of the stuff. The quick update for the viewers. The Rising Stars game is tied at 20, and it's the first to 25. So it looks like we got another nail biter. So y'all go ahead and tune in over there if you aren't right now. Thank you for watching. Y'all have a great night, and we'll.
Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all